Howdy, folks. Thanks for watching. I'm doing this from a second phone. I kind of have two phones that I use. So anyway, I have this idea of making life easier for Americans. And I'm throwing this out there just because there might be somebody that has big money or whatever to emulate this. So my idea is having, and I know we have the processing power to do this. I'm just telling this. I'm throwing this out into the universe because I think it's something that will benefit society. So over the last, let's say, year, I have been going through all kinds of crap with the IRS. So this might, because we live in a corporatist society, and I know that this is being posted to a corporatist environment. So I understand the profit motive thing here, but I'm thinking about you and me in the society that we live in here in America. So my idea is to have a central, let's call it a robot, that processes all of your financial stuff. So like you go out to work and you drive so many miles for work and you save a receipt, or through AI or the infrastructure saves that trip. And you have a kiosk, I'm calling it a kiosk, but it could be named anything else, that processes your daily paperwork. For instance, you get a receipt. When you get home, you feed it into your little unit, and it automatically, everything's dinging up and down. And so the system would automatically calculate your taxes and expenses and everything like that, and there'd be a on-off switch for your own privacy, or you could leave it on to calculate all of your daily expenses for taxes, and then the system would automatically calculate the taxes whenever tax day comes, or fluidly through the system, because the tax system in the United States is burdensome enough in its own right. I'm listening to Jules back there. So basically you have a continuous connection to the IRS, Internal Revenue Service, that would process your taxes fluidly, continuously throughout the year or whatever, and would automatically calculate what you owe or what the Fed has owes you. And that system could be easy. We have enough processing power now to automatically do that and audit at the same time to make sure that it's correct. Right now, the system, in my opinion, is overcomplicated, and the laws keep changing throughout the year. The laws keep changing. They have amendments, this, that, and the other. We would need a separate act of a separate Congress to manage just the IRS. And I'm just a simple nuts and bolts person. That my life isn't centered around commerce and taxes and stuff like that. But the tax system is a burden on the people in the United States. And so what the emulation that I would think of for the entire United States is get the system up and running, and start out with the states that have the lowest population in the United States and work that system in so that a person could have their tax status immediately available and it to them at any point on their mobile device or whatever, or in a secure kiosk at home, where every day, instead of having to save up all your paperwork for until the end of the year, you would be continuously calculating your taxes throughout the year, and then when the Fed wants to access that credit file, which would be basically a social credit file from your system, it would automatically be all taken care of. The amount of stress that would go away in American society from having a system like that would be huge. Now, as far as like processing unknowns, there would have to be some kind of compensation in the system to handle the unknowns. But the IRS system right now is so broad and so complex that no human could accurately do everything on their own. Now, I understand the ramifications for giga businesses and stuff like that. Well, they can opt out of that system and file their own taxes. But for the regular American people, it would be a fluid dynamic to where they wouldn't get caught up in a system that is oppressive. That's my idea. I think there should be a kiosk. Now, it would have ramifications for accounting services across the United States, because accounting services and stuff like that, and tax calculating and everything, would become obsolete once you have a fluid system working that calculates your taxes automatically as you go out through in society. That's just one of the trade-offs. It's kind of like mass surveillance, but you would have the ability to turn it off. And then when you get home from work or once a month, turn it on. You would already have your tax receipts and everything like that collated, feed it into the system. Taxes are figured out automatically. They do this for the trucks on the road already. The mileage they have, we know we have the capacity. It's the implementation. That way, a person might even not end up out on the street like I'm going to be ending up out on the street because of the IRS. Well, it's not all the IRS's fault. It's partly my fault. I accept that. But we need a better system, and I think that an initial rollout that would be good for a continuous tax processing system in the United States. I start out with the states with the smallest population, so that you can work out the kinks, and then slowly emulate that system throughout the states with the least amount of least populated states. And I think that would be a huge reduction in the stress of American society. It would be the benefit of actually granting more freedom for people to do things without feeling like they're going to get in trouble for doing stuff. And we've got the processing power with AI. We've got the intelligence of AI right now to do all of this, and emulate or putting this system into process in stages would totally and completely reduce stress all across the United States of having to worry about the IRS, jackbooted thugs, and paperwork and stuff like that. And part of my inspiration is from the movie Brazil. I hope I don't ruin any copyrights or anything like that. But literally, we have a bureaucracy that's surviving off of complexity, so that they can take advantage of your lack of knowledge of the system or inability to access the system. It's actually kind of like a human rights violation, because you're being blamed for something that you don't know how it works. And for people who might only have a 70 IQ, can't do their own taxes, but they have to pay a flapper to take care of their taxes for them. And that's my idea. I'm putting it out there for free. I think the system needs to be emulated. We have the processing power now. We have creative systems to accommodate any social class and any wealth class in the United States and whatever. But for the average American, we shouldn't have to worry about taxes all through the year and then be afraid of tax day. There shouldn't be a tax day. Taxes can be rolled out monthly, can be weekly, whatever an individual person chooses. That's my idea. Thanks for watching, and have a good one. Oh yeah, and the stripy paint is actually from my overhead fan ball thing there, but it kind of gives it texture, except I hate that ugly door. But I ran out of money for paint because I'm trying to get to Paducah, Kentucky, and I might not have the money because of the Fed. I might not have the money to move to Kentucky, and so I'm just going to end up out on the street because I couldn't get things taken care of. But anyway, that's America, I don't care if somebody's wealthier than me or richer than me. There's a difference between wealth and rich. So, thanks for watching. Bye.